Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS producer Sydney Bowles, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefnak, Chris Flaherty and Robert Paris, Juliana McGreen with sports, Peter Brown with the weather, and Gretchen Carey with the community calendar. Thank you for joining us. The Burlington Select Board is revisiting the possibility of Proposition 2.5 debt exclusions for the Fox Hill and Police Station building projects. That's a financial maneuver that would give the town more flexibility in its tax levy down the road. The Ways and Means Committee originally thought that Fox Hill would need to be dependent on the exclusion. Now, Town Administrator Paul Sagarino said it was determined that they could fund the project in the budget without the exclusion, but it still might be a good idea.
Debt exclusion is a tool that's always available to the town. So we completed the DPW facility several years ago, but if we decided that that was a negative impact on our budget, we could retroactively exclude those debt payments that we'd be paying for the next 20 years on the DPW project, which was completed several years ago.
The Select Board will consider the possibility in upcoming meetings. If they do move forward, they'll need 4 of the 5 select persons to vote the exclusions on the April 2025 local ballot for citizen approval. The design of the government vehicles in town will be changing in the coming years as the DPW is switching to an all-black design with a new, clearer logo. According to DPW's Director Brian White, it's a response to longer lead time for custom paint jobs.
We have been experiencing ever since COVID long lead time orders for more for customized colors. So we've actually got, this memo was from July. At the time we had only received 2 of 6 vehicles we had ordered the year from the year before. We've since received 2 more, but we still have two outstanding. And really what they're telling us is the main driver is the custom paint color.
And Director White said it actually costs more to order custom colors. The DPW could save as much as $3,500 per vehicle by going with all black instead of green and yellow. It's not the only change coming to the department. To clear up some confusion, the DPW is renaming its General Maintenance Division to Fleet Maintenance, and its Buildings and Cemetery Division will now be called Cemeteries and Facilities to avoid confusion with the building departments. In an annual review of goals presented to the school committee this week, Burlington Public Schools Superintendent Eric Conti said the district is advancing on multiple priorities and multiple fronts. Among them, expanding STEM accelerators and career pathway programs, diversifying hiring, and making sure all families feel welcome and included at BPS. Additionally, he's listening to district feedback about fewer choices at school lunch, and is working with a coalition of superintendents to consider options about AI and cell phones in school. In other school committee news, the numbers are in for this year's enrollment, and it's down about 10 to 12 students from this time last year. That's in line with the Massachusetts School Building Authority has been projecting for the town. There were no real surprises in the numbers. In fact, Superintendent Conti said the numbers dispelled the myth that more students are leaving for private schools after middle school. Let's look.
We've worked more closely with Shawsheen, and we are partnering with them more. Tony McIntosh, the superintendent, is doing more of inviting our 8th graders over. But we've seen a higher percentage of our 8th graders accepted into Shawsheen, which is a very positive thing. So if we have seen any sort of increase, it's just been because of the increase in the students attending Shawsheen, which is great, but we have not seen any sort of mass exodus or any other trend that we're seeing in the enrollment data.
Dr. Conti said the rise in homeless students has been a challenge for transportation. Under a law known as McKinney-Vento, homeless students have a right to keep going to school in the district where they became homeless, even if they're staying somewhere different, and getting students where they need to go can be a headache. The district this week approved two $10,000 stipends for the administrators who often work nights and weekends to make transportation work for those students. Anxiety about school safety has been high for some families in Burlington after two recent incidents at the high school, one involving a student with a knife and the other involving the false triggering of the emergency system. Luckily, the district's PTOs had already scheduled a school safety event to hear from police officers about the measures that are in place to protect Burlington students. Sydney Bowles has more.
Parents from all 6 Burlington schools were invited to the high school auditorium to hear about school safety protocols.
The goal tonight is really so that you walk away knowing how your children are kept safe physically in the schools and also kept feeling safe in our schools.
Melissa Massardo is on the PTO at Fox Hill Elementary School.
This really came about at the end of last school year, so nothing really specific, but we felt like parents were really interested in how the resource officers were keeping our kids safe. So we asked, we obviously collaborated really well with the BPD, and they offered to do this presentation. And then as part of that, how do we keep our kids feeling safe in the school as well? So we added the mental health component with our director of mental health joining us.
The evening was a chance to hear directly from school resource officers stationed inside Burlington schools.
So what I like to tell my little guys that I talk to in the community and the teachers, the best way to explain this is like the castles way back in ancient times. Those things are beautiful and awesome like schools nowadays. And when the enemy showed up, they pulled up the drawbridge and they used that castle to protect themselves. We work with all the schools and the superintendent, Dr. Conti's been great with us, and Assistant Superintendent Dr. Chen has worked with us well too, where essentially we would put together trainings where we work with the administration and we would partnership through maybe a scenario or a tabletop drill that we may see that happened in a different part of the country, and we try to see like if this were to how would we handle it or something along those lines in more of a proactive measure.
School committee member Jeremy Brooks is on the district-wide school safety committee.
There's lots of work on the background, countless hours, tons of dedication again from the staff in the Burlington Police Department and the administration as well. I really can't sing their praises enough for the hard work they put in and all the time, planning, and effort that goes in. So just as an advisor to the council, it's very clear to me that every time they meet, there's a clear objective and an agenda to get something done, to move the ball forward, to ensure that we have all the pieces in place to make sure that, from the time an incident begins to reunification, everything moves smoothly and moves well.
The full school safety presentation is available on bcattv.org. For BNEWS Weekly, I'm Sydney Bowles.
In other school safety news, the Burlington Police Department is gearing up for Northeast School Safety Summit in partnership with the group Safe and Sound Schools. The summit, which is scheduled for October 24th and 25th, will bring together local and national leaders to talk about trends, recommendations, and best practices for school safety. The Parks and Rec Department has been awarded a $1 million grant from the Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund. It's to renovate Overlook Park and add improvements for accessibility. Parks and Rec received $2.3 million from town meeting to fund the project back in May. At the time, they said they'd hoped to get $1 million of that reimbursed, but couldn't count on it. Stay tuned to this program next week when we'll hear from the Rec Department about their plans for the new park. Accessibility has been central to the work of the Parks and Rec Department for some time, and they're getting recognized for it. Sydney Bowles reports the whole state's Park Association is paying attention to Burlington.
It was a sunny October day when dozens of parks and recreations professionals gathered at the State House to hear about Burlington's success.
We were asked by the Massachusetts Recreation and Park Association to come to Advocacy Day here at the State House and speak to our treehouse project and what it meant to the community of Burlington.
The treehouse is located in Simons Park, and it's designed to be universally accessible for those with mobility challenges, including wheelchair users. It's become a popular hub for community events, and now it's recognized statewide.
This is a really exciting opportunity. I'm honored to be able to speak with some of my colleagues regarding the impact of the treehouse and talk about the importance of parks and recreation on Advocacy Day here at the State House.
Therapeutic recreation specialist Emma Andrus said the treehouse is just one part of the town's efforts to increase accessibility for those with disabilities.
The treehouse being universally accessible demonstrates our continued commitment to increasing accessibility in our community. Since the Treehouse's opening, participants in therapeutic recreation programs have enjoyed creating art, playing games, and sharing laughter and stories with friends, all up in the trees in a space that each of them can access independently.
Burlington invited Bedford resident Leah Devereaux to speak about the challenges of finding outdoor spaces that were accessible for her family when her husband, Rich, used a wheelchair.
Rich was an Eagle Scout and had always loved being outdoors. It was incredibly difficult for him and for us as a family when that part of his life became harder to access. The treehouse at Simons Park changed that. Our children could climb and play with the joy of knowing their dad was right there with them, fully part of the experience. It has meant so much to my family and gave us that safe place to go that we knew that was going to be accessible for us, and it's so important in recreation, and I'm very grateful to Burlington for doing that.
From the Massachusetts State House, I'm Sydney Bowles.
Environmental technology firms had their moment in the sun recently. Tad Stefanek has the story of a green company showcase.
Always at the forefront of developing new economic opportunities, the Middlesex 3 Coalition held a Green Expo at the Riverwalk Labs in Bedford.
So today's event is the New England Real Estate Journal and the Middlesex 3 Real Estate event. It's focused on creating a clean tech community. The idea is that this is a new industry, a relatively new industry, that's really growing in this area. So we want to bring people together, make certain we're prepared for new companies that are coming to help create a more sustainable economy.
We are a nonprofit organization working with communities to engage residents to take climate action. We work with community leaders to run campaigns to build awareness. At each household level, there are things anybody, you, I, anybody can do. And so that's what we do. We run campaigns to build awareness, to build momentum around taking action.
We provide last mile shuttle programs to most of the corporations in and around Boston, our area, that need solving commuting problems, getting people to and from work from public transportation, and on the sustainability level, getting single occupancy vehicles off the road.
So I work with Dennis, and we do the same thing. We work with shuttles, and the other things that we add to it is the commuter services program. So we incentivize commuters, employees to drive less, and single occupancy vehicles, get them off the road. We promote biking, we promote active commuting, carpooling, anything that we can to get extra cars off the road.
Obago is an innovator in plastic bag and packaging film recycling. We make a kitchen appliance that lets you thermoform your household plastic bags and packaging film into a rigid disc, which you can recycle at your local retail stores and a number of bins that we've located throughout the state and throughout the country. This material is a valuable material. It can be recycled into a lot of different products.
Select Energy develops and finances, constructs, maintains solar systems and battery storage systems throughout Massachusetts and the Northeast. We're the leader in non-residential commercial solar.
And there's a lot of great jobs that will be coming, a lot of great companies, and we want to fill up some of these buildings and get people to work in this industry.
From the Middlesex 3 Coalition Green Expo, I'm BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanek.
If you can believe it, some of the fall sports teams are already nearing the end of their seasons. Let's turn to Juliana McGrain for the latest.
Hey everyone, I'm Juliana McGrain, and this is your weekly sports report. The Red Devils football team had another strong win this week. For more, we go to Bill Hayes.
The Red Devils remain undefeated at 4-0 after a 20-7 win over the Wakefield Warriors. Let's break it all down. On the first play of the Burlington drive, Anthony Guerrier found a wide-open Ryan Ellis for a 55-yard touchdown, 7-0 after the extra point.
First play of the game, it's a touchdown.
After a 3-and-out for Wakefield, the Devils had a 16-play drive that lasted well into the beginning of the second quarter. It ended with a 6-yard touchdown pass to Drew Garvey, making the score 14-0 after the extra point.
Touchdown.
The score remained the same until the start of the third quarter, when Aiden Jones of the Warriors ran down the field for a 43-yard rushing touchdown, making the score 14-7.
Right sideline, can Richard get? He cannot. In the end zone. Wakefield touchdown.
Burlington scored one more touchdown in the fourth quarter when Guerrier ran it himself for a 12-yard touchdown, making the final score 20-7 after the extra point. We spoke with Anthony Guerrier and Ryan Ellis about the fantastic win.
Up front, they were fighting. There was a lot of blitzing. They had 6 on our 5. I mean,
they were doing their thing. You know, you have to make plays sometimes, and you know, downfield my receivers made plays or I either scrambled, so it all worked out in the long run.
I usually like to start off the games hot, like throw a deep ball, maybe take a shot, see if we can get early. It was a great play call, and then Guerrier read it perfectly and threw it to me on the money, so yeah.
Quarterback Anthony Guerrier got more recognition this week. It was his second week on the Boston Herald's Star of the Week list, and this week he made the Boston Globe's Player of the Week list too. Burlington is tied with Stoneham at the top of the Middlesex Freedom League standings. We'll see if they can keep their momentum through the rest of the season. The Devils have a second game this week against Wilmington. Let's check out these highlights.
First play of the game, they've scored a first play touchdown a lot. And this time it's a screen to Brooks.
And here's another.
And he looks like he's going to take it to the house. First play, it's a Brooks screen. And why not have him get the ball on the first play of the game? Guerrier from the empty, looking right, on his feet, throwing a rifle across the middle.
Wide open.
Shane Sheehan wide open, and 2 plays, 2 touchdowns,
wow.
Mike. Oh, my goodness. And Wilmington knows it's over. Mike, it's been a pleasure. Another game in the books.
Pleasure's all mine, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony and Mike. We're down on the field after the Burlington win 35-20 over Wilmington, and we're going to talk to the stars of today's game, Anthony Guerrier, Ryan Brooks, and Ryan Ellis. Anthony, great win tonight. You connected with Ryan Ellis for another touchdown tonight. What's it been like to add guys like him into the mix on your offense?
It's been great. I mean, I have the best receivers in the league, I think, in the state actually. So I'm just blessed with that, and they always are there for me, so it's pretty cool.
I want to talk about your defense. They made some big stops on third down tonight. What can you say about the dedication and the work those guys put in?
Yeah, they've been solid. Lots of room for improvement on both sides of the ball. I think we have to be better. I don't think that was a great win. We'll take it, but you know, going forward, we can't settle for that.
That was going to be my final question. You started off with a lot of momentum tonight. Slowed down in the second half. Not a perfect second half for you guys. What do you have to clean up going into next week?
Penalties are huge. They keep killing us. Blitz pickup, I think we need to work a little bit on blitz pickup. I need to stay in the pocket a little longer. I'm rushing myself a little bit, scrambling a little too much. We need to get stops. You know, teams are just driving down the field on us. It seems like both offensively and defense, we gotta work a lot.
Brooks, 2 touchdowns in the first half. The first one coming in the first 11 seconds of the game. How did you get that momentum going right from the start?
I mean, Coach says the play before even the game in the locker room. He says, all right, this is the play we're gonna run, and if you gotta like execute it well, and that's what we do most of the time. You know, last week we got Ellis over here, first play of the game too. We got a 70 or 60-yard touchdown, whatever it is. We're really good on starting the game off really good. You know, because we have a lot of momentum right off the start normally, and best QB in the state by far. We got like the best receivers, so we just execute and we get the touchdown. You know.
And we see you on the other side of the ball on defense. Some big stops on third down tonight. What's it been like working with those guys?
It's amazing. I mean, my guys, I just love after like a big hit or something, they come up to you, they hype you up. You go to the sideline's hyping you up. It's just amazing because like we're all friends, we're all brothers. You know, we've all been together for so long, and it's just amazing playing with them.
Ryan, you had your first career touchdown last week in Wakefield. Another one right here at home tonight. How much has your confidence grown as we get more into the season?
Yeah, a lot. I think once you get the first one, it kind of breaks it. You know, gets all the nerves away, and then hopefully I can just keep doing it. And it's good to get another one here in front of the home crowd with everybody watching.
And what's it been like? Give us a sense working with Anthony and that offense. What is the relationship like with you guys?
Yeah, Anthony's great every day. You know, he's a good leader. He's always telling us, fixing us if we make a mistake. And yeah, talent-wise, he's I think one of the best in the state. So it's great to work with him every day, and we're really lucky.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here next week, Friday at 6 p.m. as Burlington takes on Melrose here at home. Anthony and Mike are on the call. I'm Noelle D'Amico. See you next time.
The Woburn Burlington swim team is currently 0-4 this season. They will be back in action on October 10th against Belmont. Updates next week. The Red Devils golf finished the regular season with an 8-6 overall record after a strong win over Wilmington. The team will compete at the North Sectionals next week. Both boys and girls soccer teams had shutout losses to Winchester this week. For their overall record, the girls stand at 4-7-1. The boys stand at 4-8-1. They both came out victorious against Watertown on October 9th. In the league stands, the girls are in 4th place and of 6, and the boys are in 3rd place out of 6. The Red Devils cross-country teams were back at home against Melrose this week. The girls lost 45-16 and now have a 0-5 record for the season. Top finishers for the girls' race were Kayla Mackey, Samantha Burke, and Kritika Agarwala. The boys lost their meet 30-26 and are 2-3 this season. The top finishers for the boys were Krish Almeida, Roy Kinyake, and Ivan Ivanov. The teams will be on the road in Stoneham on October 22nd. The girls' field hockey team lost to Winchester this week 3-0. The Devils are now 5-7 for the season. Burlington will be home against Watertown on October 10th. Updates next week. Girls volleyball lost 3-0 against Winchester this week, moving them back to an 8-5 record. The team is preparing for a very special fundraiser later this month. BNEWS sports reporter Robert Paris has more.
On October 18th, the Lady Devils volleyball team will have their third annual Spike Out Cancer fundraiser, which supports the American Cancer Society.
The last couple years, we've raised over $14,000 to go to the American Cancer Society. We're hoping that we do better than that this year, which would be fantastic.
A variety of raffle prizes will be displayed, and winners will receive baskets ranging from dining out to sporting events.
Prizes include restaurant gift cards to a lot of different places, some gift certificates to local gyms, D1 Training and Mike's Boyle's Training Center, Celtics tickets, Patriots tickets, scratch tickets, every basket imaginable that's behind me.
Seniors on the team say that they love the event as it brings two communities together for one night.
I like seeing all the other sports teams come. It's very close community. I love seeing everyone wearing the shirts and everyone supporting each other. I think it's a really good cause.
I think it's something that everyone looks forward to every year. We start planning it from the summer, and so it's just kind of an end goal that everyone can look forward to at the end of the year. And it's obviously for a really good cause, so it's really fun to plan too.
You can support the team by getting your Spike Out t-shirt and advance raffle tickets now.
Up to the event, we've been selling our Spike Out Cancer t-shirts this year in partnership with Lynn Classical. We put their mascot on the shirt as well, so we're both in partnership to raise money towards the American Cancer Society. This year, I have some friends and resource that will actually company match whatever we raise this year, which is exciting. So anything that we raise will double up instantly going to the American Cancer Society.
From the Vanilla Gymnasium, I'm Robert Paris for BNews Sports.
For more Red Devil action, check out our sports section at bcattv.org/sports and follow us on X at BNews Sports. That's all for this week. I'm Julianne McGrain. Back to you in the studio.
And we're seeing some of that classic New England fall weather. Here's Peter Brown with the forecast, and stay tuned for Gretchen Carey with your community calendar.
Hello everyone, this is Peter Brown with your weather for the next 7 days. Here we are heading in towards the heart of October. I know it's hard to believe that we are almost a month into astronomical fall, so we really are getting into that cooler weather, those shorter days out there. In fact, we're going to be seeing our sunrises happening in the next week or so after 7 a.m., so I know that's a sure sign that we are heading in towards the cooler season. So go ahead, let's take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is calling for us in terms of temperatures and precipitation over the next 7 to 10 days. And looking at our temperature map, expecting us to have below average temperatures and a fairly good chance of that here in the Burlington area and most of the eastern third of the country. Looking at our precipitation chances, they're looking for us to have fairly average to maybe a slightly below average precipitation. I'm seeing that as well. Looks like it's going to be a fairly dry period coming up as we go through the next 7 days. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at those 7 days of weather coming up. And again, starting our period on Friday, looks like we're going to have a really nice weekend out there. Maybe the only iffy part might be on Sunday when we see a chance of maybe some showers moving in here ahead of a fairly powerful cold front. But temperatures Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the upper 60s to near 70s. So if you can get the chance to get out there this weekend, it's going to be a great one for you out there. Now again, as we head back towards the work week, especially after you're having the long holiday weekend off, getting in towards next Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to have a real cool shot of air coming into the Burlington area here. Temperatures struggling to get out of the mid to upper 50s. Chilly nights out there. Wouldn't be surprised if some areas in some of the quieter valley locations closer to our rivers and ponds that we may see some maybe touches of frost coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday. Doesn't look like that right now, but temperatures are definitely going to be chilly. Temperatures starting off those mornings in the mid-30s. And then as we get in towards the Thursday time frame, looks like that sun's going to still be out there, but temperatures are going to start warming as we have a high-pressure center moving off of the New England coast and temperatures rebounding up into the mid-60s. So everyone, get out there, have a great week, enjoy the weather.
This is Pepper, and you are watching BCAT.
Hey everyone, I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your Community Calendar. On October 17th from 11 to 11:45 a.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a family Halloween tea party. The event is for children and caregivers, and pre-registration is required. To register, go to the library website. On October 19th from 9 a.m. to noon, Burlington will be having a town-wide Shred Day. Shredding will be held at the Town Hall back parking lot, Burlington residents only, and ID will be required. Also on the 19th from 2:30 to 7 p.m., the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department will be having the Halloween Spooktacular and Candy Crane Drop at Simons Park. The event is for Burlington residents only, and pre-registration is required for the Candy Crane Drop. For more community calendar events, go to bcattv.org, burlingtonpubliclibrary.org, and burlingtonrecreation.org. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your Community Calendar.
As we do each week, we're finishing up with a photo sent in by a member of the community. This week's photo comes from Kerry Donahue, who says it's a beautiful Saturday morning on Lexington Street. Thank you, Kerry. Now we're going a little rogue here because we already had chosen our photo of the week when you flooded our inbox with images of the Aurora Borealis making Burlington glow. They were all so stunning. Our crack team just couldn't choose between them. So you get extra photos of the week this time around, courtesy of Jane Lynch, Kevin Carnell, and Evan McNamee. If you have a photo you'd like to see featured here and share with the community, email it to us at bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's our program. Thank you as always for tuning in. I'm Phil Gallagher, and I'll see you back here next week.